How much time do I have?
5 minutes.
Perfect. Armagus. So obviously in relation to the records, after the break there, you just corrected in relation to 3 findings. I presume you rang someone during the break to find out?
I did indeed, yes.
Yeah. Did you ring the chair of the board?
No.
You rang a member of the board?
I rang our compliance officer who deals with all our PDs.
Okay, so the compliance officer didn't make you aware that findings were released to the board?
They were released to the army.
Only today he made you aware of that?
It's not something that I would have dealt with at the time, Deputy. I thought you were talking about a different issue that we were dealing with.
What issue? What different issue?
It's an issue around the same thing. A contact was made from Garda Síochána number about 7-8 weeks ago.
This contact would have been made from the department?
Pardon?
This contact would have been made from the department?
Yes, it was as a consequence of a contact from the department that there was an issue to be considered by the chair relating to Garda Síochána.
Okay, so you've 3 findings, 2 in relation to the incident itself, 1 in relation to the false insurance documents. The board are refuting the false documents.
That's correct.
We can all refute it. There's no refuting this. It's a matter of fact. The 16th of November 2021, the board of the IFI, as well as the chief executive officer, were made aware officially at that stage that the documentation was inaccurate.
Yeah, that's correct.
And didn't provide that evidence to Garda Síochána.
No, it's knowingly allowed an individual to present insurance documentation that we knowingly knew was false. That's the issue that was being refuted.
What would you say then to the former CEO at the Public Accounts Committee who said he knew on the day of the accident?
I can't speak for the former deputy,
How can the board refute that when the former CEO said that he knew on the day?
We have clear evidence to demonstrate that that case was that we did not know we had a liability until the insurance company came back and told us in November of that year.
The insurance company told yourselves in November,
yes,
that the documentation was inaccurate.
That cover would not be extended to that vehicle.
No, documentation provided to Garda Síochána was inaccurate. No,
the cover, the insurance. I'll let the head of logistics who was dealing with it answer that, but it's the cover piece. Yeah.
Deputy, the insurance policy that we had when the incident arose on the 10th of August 2021, the insurance company was notified of the incident, and there was a clarification sought by the insurers in relation to whether that vehicle had been declared. It wasn't a case that they had said on the date of the incident that there was no insurance and no indemnity going to be provided. And it was through a series of communications with the insurers over the period up until mid-November 2021 that we got clarification that in this case they would be declining cover.
Why didn't you bring that to the attention of Garda Síochána or the staff member at that stage?
IFI had been in contact with the employee.
Not until October 2022 you didn't make the employee aware of that. A year later.
There is correspondence between IFI and the employee in respect of trying to resolve the issue with the insurers.
No. You made October 2022, you made the employee aware that the vehicle was uninsured. And the only reason you did that was because he received a letter from the solicitor and a personal claims letter to say that the insurance that he provided to Garda Síochána was inaccurate.
The employee was in contact with IFI prior to that notification. In other words, IFI was trying to keep the employee appraised of this situation. It may be the case. It may be the case that a notification went in 2022, but it's not true to say that we weren't in contact with the employee.
Did you say to the employee that the car was not insured? We received this on the 16th of November 2021. The car is not insured.
Not at that time.
Why?
I've no.
You threw him under the bus. You allowed him. You allowed him.
IFI supported that individual employee.
You allowed him to continue with the false documentation that he provided. Knowingly allowed him at that stage.
IFI didn't knowingly.
Two pieces from the Code of Conduct for the IFI staff. Policy of the IFI to comply with all relevant statutory and regulatory requirements governing its operations. If anyone other than you is involved in an RTA, you must show your insurance cert to local Gardaí within 24 hours. You were made aware on the 16th of November 2021 that the insurance documentation that he provided within that 24 hours period was inaccurate, and you failed to tell him and you failed to tell on Garda Síochána. The board are now refuting that.
The IFI
board don't have a leg to stand on here. An external investigation was took place from Minister Eamon Ryan's office. The external investigation basically said that you knowingly allowed this to happen. You did, because on the 16th of November, 3 months after the crash, you officially knew at that stage, and you still failed to tell on Garda Síochána or the employee.
The subsequent to
is that a fact?
If I can elaborate,
can I just ask, is that a fact? Yes or no?
It's a fact that the insurers in mid-November come back to Inland Fisheries Ireland with
is it a fact that you did not tell on Garda Síochána or the employee when you received the official documentation that the car was uninsured? Yes or no?
On the date that we received that information, the employee and the Garda Síochána were not notified. Subsequent to receiving that correspondence,
that's the critical thing there.
If I may elaborate, Chair. Subsequent to receiving the notification from the insurers, IFI also sought further legal advice on the matter. The advice provided us with certain avenues to look at and exhaust. These included contacting the Ombudsman, the Ombudsman for Pensions and Financial Services, and also there is an arbitration process within the policy itself, which allowed for IFI to have an opportunity to challenge the decision of the insurers, and these processes took time subsequent to their original letter in mid-November of 2021.
The legal advice you received, they didn't turn around to you and say, you know, you gave false documentation to the employee, he then in turn gave it to the Gardaí, you're after receiving confirmation that it wasn't insured, you know, you should go away and tell the employee and on Garda Síochána, because this is a live investigation.
There was no advice to that effect. The IFI had confirmation in mid-November that there was a declination of indemnity in relation to that vehicle. None of the other vehicles that were in the 15 that were identified as being...
If there wasn't a car crash, you would have still continued with 16 uninsured vehicles on the road.
I can't speculate on that.
There's no speculation, it's a fact.
Well, I cannot speculate when or who would have realised there was a clerical error in respect to that.
The bottom line is, there was an employee of Inland Fisheries Ireland involved in the car crash, okay? Ye knowingly, on the 16th of November, continued to allow that false document that ye gave to him to provide to An Garda Síochána. Ye knowingly allowed that to continue. And that's a fact.
I think if you could furnish us with a full note on what you've said there, and
could I also ask if they could furnish us with the legal? You contacted solicitors after the 16th of November. Can you furnish us with those legal documents that you received, advising you on what to do?
Thanks, Deputy Kenny, Deputy Eoghan.